James, speaking shortly after today's victory over Newcastle Thunder, what do you make of how your team went?
Mixed. I thought they worked really hard, showed plenty of resilience. Obviously, they went behind. I thought they were probably not rewarded for the defensive efforts. Certainly between the back rowers early on. We nailed, I think, 7 or 8 40 traps, 2 or 3 near misses. And that's an indicator of a side that's is on top. But we come up with a couple of defensive errors on the edges, and they scored 1 or 2 long-range tries off the back of those errors. But we were confident that our physicality would get on top of Newcastle. It did. Our spine and edges didn't quite combine as well as we'd want them to. So we'll just work at that all week and give them every opportunity that they need to be better. Without making any excuses for them, I don't think it helped losing Atta really, because obviously we've adjusted how we play, using Atta on ball in the middle. Obviously losing after a couple of minutes, I don't know, what, 3-4 minutes, we had to readjust and move things back round, so we were playing as we'd not practised. But I still think there should have been the timing of a lead line or the decision with a centre as a 2v1 or a fullback and a 3v2. They've been in them positions consistently in training, consistently in games, and we need to be better in those areas. We'll keep working at it, and I am really confident that those players will come up with the right answers soon.
And when Hingano went off, it obviously meant your rest of your middle unit had to do probably bigger minutes than you'd expect to. It's obviously somewhere we're missing a couple of key players at the minute, but what do you make of how them props and middles went this evening?
I think they really fronted up. Obviously then we lost Roland Dixon at half time, so we were down to 1 middle on the interchange. So the rest of them really put an awful lot of effort and endeavour into the game, in terms of the carries, the efforts, the off the ball efforts. Was superb, and it probably had an impact on our interchange plan. We had planned to get Tommy Inman out there in the first half, but we were worried that we were going to run out of interchange, losing 2 players. So we didn't feel we had enough to put him on and bring him off, so we had to wait until the last 15 minutes, if you like, to get him on, or even the last 20 minutes to make sure we didn't have to defend with a tired front rower out there. So that was disappointing that we couldn't get him out earlier, but when he came out there, I thought he did what we know he can do. He had some good energy defensively. He's good off of a ruck win, and he's come up with a big try for us.
And it's something you've not wanted. You seem to concede barge over tries, and we managed to score one of our own with his first try, like you said.
Yeah. Well, he's an attacking hooker, so the attacking hookers come up with them tries, whether they find a pass around the middles, around the post, on a power shape, or out the back, or they use them as a foil to create space for themselves. And he did something similar at Newcastle at the Bash, where he showed Kermo and used to create space for a kick. So he has that kind of stuff in his armour, and as he matures, I'm sure he's going to he has a chance of being a really good player as he starts winning his tackles and carrying some contact similar to Jubby. I think he could be some player.
And you mentioned a couple of players there. First of all, after Hingano, what's the initial diagnosis there, do you think?
I've been seeing it up there. I think it's obviously an ankle ligament injury. He's gone over on the top of it, and some force has gone through it. Certainly don't think it was intentional. I think it's really unfortunate. We'll see how he is and get him scanned as soon as we possibly can, and then we'll go from there. But I'd be mesmerised if he's available to play against Workington. And
Roland Dixon as well, obviously came off injured at half time, but it was his 100th game. You've coached him for every single one of them. What do you make of how he's developed over the last few years?
I taught Roland as a student, as a 16-year-old student, and the difference in him as a 16-year-old student to him as an athlete, an adult athlete, is there's a stark contrast there. So he's matured into a fine young man. We signed him when we were in League One, mid-table League One side, and as an 18-year-old, and he stayed with the team and steadily improved. He's always had a big carry, shows the ball well on his carry, and stayed with us as we progressed through the leagues, into the Championship. Now we've established ourselves as a Championship top 6 side twice in 3 years, and he's come with us. There's some stuff in his game for him to improve at, but he knows that, and hopefully we'll see that.
There was a milestone as well this evening that probably didn't have as much fanfare as you'd have liked when you got your 200th game as head coach.
Fanfare. It's funny that, Charles. They were all trumpeting it out.
Just reflecting on your time with the club, what are the standout moments for you?
Standout moments. Well, there's been. I don't want to sound big-headed, but there's been quite a few, haven't there? Obviously, winning League One, what a big achievement. Certainly, what we were up against, and then continuing that and finishing third in the championship, and obviously making the playoffs this year. They're all right up there. I think helping some of the players develop and kick on, that'll be up there. Your Batchelors and Minikins of the world, Chris Brownings of the world. They take a lot of put a lot of effort into things like that, and I'm really pleased for them. Probably the standout thing is just that the progress the club's made. It sounds like like I'm fibbing, doesn't it, when I say, look, we were playing in the fields, our supporters were sitting on chairs if they were lucky to sit on a chair, portable chair. And we've come from there to being a fantastic stadium with amazing training facilities, and the club's grown immensely off the field, and we're not quite where we want to be, but we've gone from what I've just described to a club that's a top 6 championship club with ambition and a plan to move beyond that in the coming years.